Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I just finished reading Unintended Cultivator, Volume 2 by Eric Dontigny? Nay? Something like that, anyway. And, oh boy, if you are a fan or if you've ever just decided to, for whatever reason, start reading cultivation novels, then you are well aware that the bar for this particular subgenre of fantasy is about as low as it could possibly go. Yeah, there's so many really, really terrible cultivation novels out there that if a book, even so much in the genre, is able to relay a coherent thought, you're like, yay, I found something really good here. Luckily, this one, Book 2, the dreaded Book 2. Always scary to read Book 2. Continues a series that I've been hoping will remain good. I enjoyed the first one. There are tropes in The Unintended Cultivator. If you watched the review of my reading of the first book, you know that there are some like over-the-top bad guys, but they aren't the focus. It's just like, yeah, there are a few in here, and the author's kind of like pointing at how comedic and silly acting like this is, while the rest of the world, decides to continue being sane. And I really enjoy that it's kind of like poking at certain tropes without falling into them, or the entire focus of the book just like being this holier than thou approach to the genre, while they like make fun of like the traditional stuff. Instead, it's just like, yeah, and that's there, and he's like weird and over the top, and that's strange, and let's just move on past him. Like I'm not sure at this point I want to call them the minorities, but they do seem to be the minority, not the majority, and it's funny when they appear, because they're not going to take up center stage, and so on and so forth. This book continues, and therein lies one of my main concerns when I picked up book 2. The question is, was Eric here a one-trick pony and not able to, when the main character goes out into the world at large, be able to do anything other than, poke at the absurdity of some of the more over-the-top actors in the book? And it's not something he got caught up on. Yeah, they're still there. They're still not taking up center stage. So there is a little bit of humor when they do show up. Sometimes it's a little bit more serious when they do show up. But I don't know, somehow he's like going back and forth on that line of absurdity to keep the book remaining entertaining. That said, he is traveling through the world. Another very, very, very big concern whenever you're dealing with a book too, because even some very, very prolific authors have trouble when taking a character out of the setting that they've established and trying to open up the world at large. Love or hate her, even JK, good old Rowling, right? Harry Potter. Took the kids out of Hogwarts, and suddenly the whole book kind of stumbles around on where they're going, what they're doing. Very, very awkward, right? In like the final, what, 2 books, something like that. Wasn't able to do it. Proud to see that good old Eric here with Unintended Cultivator Volume 2 is able to actually go to different settings and still show us an interesting world that we want to know more about. I'm very, very happy about that. It gives me hope for book 3 as well, because this book, only 415 pages. One thing I don't understand, there's no mention of like Royal Road or anything here. I scrolled down looking for it. There's nothing, nothing, nothing. And yet, I don't understand how this book is coming out in March. And book 3, if this is to be believed, is coming out in July of this year. How is he doing that? 4 months? Are you kidding? That has my attention. Like book 2 came out December to March or book 1, sorry, to book 2, December to March. You have a 4-month gap here again. Book 2 to book 3 is doing a 4-month gap as well. I admit that I'm very confused at that. Is he just able to devote all of his time to writing? He doesn't list anyone helping him writing. Is he getting AI assistance in his writing? Because he's not leaving a lot of time to do this writing, but book 2 was still pretty decent. I don't really know how he's doing it, because that's usually a huge red flag when it appears, you know? That he's just not giving his time to writing. Therefore, sooner or later, it's going to fall flat and he won't be able to keep up with what he's doing. So I'm not really sure how the 4-month thing came to be. Did he already write the entire series and now he's just editing and releasing it? Yeah, I don't know much about that. But so far it's okay. If you want Cultivation, you can go ahead and continue to enjoy this particular series. I will be reading book 3 when it comes out in July, I suppose. Real quick overview of the book is as already stated. The main character going out into the world, no longer on the mountaintop with like his 3 masters, I want to say. And yeah, he's going into the world trying to find where he is, what his place in it, how to get stronger, all these good things. Winds up, helping some people here and there, which is also interesting because like there's little subplots kind of going on, or little side quests, I guess you can say. But even though I knew ultimately it probably wasn't going to have a lot of impact on the world itself, and I was reading about very minor things, it's kind of presented in a way that you still see character growth over the course of those little side quests that he's kind of going on. Eventually winds up in a bigger area. After some side quests, he bumps up against some people that aren't that don't have his best interest in mind, let's say. Makes some temporary enemies, stumbles into some traps that he really should have been able to avoid, and just overall has just a grand old adventure. Like, it's not an earth-shattering epic tale right now. It's kind of like a slice of life in the life of this particular cultivator. And yeah, I'm just enjoying it. I will recommend it. I will recommend it. If you like that sort of thing. If you ever were wondering, what's the whole cultivation thing about? Do I want to try it? Cradle is obviously probably everyone's, go-to recommend. I wouldn't feel bad recommending this one too. Unlike another review I'm about to get. Yeah, I'm gonna go do another one after this one. That one isn't getting recommended. Tune in for more about why that is and what book I'm about to arguably destroy. But yeah, Unintended Cultivator, Volume 2 by Eric Dontingly. I, for some reason, can't pronounce that name. Recommend it. Enjoyed it. Looking forward to book 3. Are y'all going to read it? Do let me know. Have you already read it? Do you have any idea how this guy is able to release books in 4 months? Any of these questions, I would love answers to in the comments down below. Till next time, everyone.